everyone, and welcome into the State Champs studio. I'm Sydney Cariel, and we are excited to bring you episode 3 of Above the Net, presented by Raymond James. I'm joined by Vince Muscat, our volleyball analyst, and week after week, here we go. Can you believe we're already in week 3?
Yeah, the season takes off after Labor Day, that's for sure. It kind of moves along, and once you hit September, it goes pretty quick.
Yeah, and we're in the middle of September, which is so crazy. It's just moving by, it's flying. And the last week we had a ton of good games, and we saw a lot of teams really show who they are so far this season. So let's get right into it and go to Frankenmuth for the volleyball quad there. As expected, Frankenmuth swept this one. What do you see out of this Eagles team?
Yeah, I love Audrey Gear. She's an outside hitter. She's going to Marshall, committed to Marshall recently.
Awesome. Yeah.
She's just a fiery athlete who carries her team. She led her team with 9 kills. She had 4 aces. She plays rock solid defense. I could see her at the next level playing maybe as a libero if a coach needs her to play there. But she's just got such a great all-around game for being a little undersized. I mean, she's not like some of these other players that we talk about. They're 6'2", 6'3". I believe she's about 5'9", 5'10", but she jumps well and she leads her team.
Yeah, and leading the way, the Eagles are now 18-1 as they head into conference play, so it's going to start to heat up a little bit there. And then meanwhile, we've got Coopersville at Hamilton. Coopersville took this one in 3 sets.
Yeah, Shane Belcom is a good buddy of mine that lives over there in Grand Rapids, Muskegon area, and he's done a great job with Coopersville over the past several years. I think they fluctuated back between D2 and D1. This year they're in Division I. Coopersville has middle hitter, probably playing a little bit outside, Emily May. She had 8 kills on the night. His setter, Haley Wegner, had 29 assists. And for Hamilton, Geraldine Hops has the hops for Hamilton.
Good one. And we had another quad out in this area, Clarkston at Detroit Country Day. Clarkston won this one 2-1. What do you see out of this Clarkston team?
We'll talk about them in the rankings. They're dangerous. They moved up. They haven't been healthy all season long for Coach Allie Smith. I saw them play over the weekend at the program invite. They played Marion in the gold pool play. We're right there with them, and that was without outside Kayla Carbon, who's I think one of their best attackers. Paige Geitbrock has been leading the team as a 6 rotation outside hitter. Her sister Chloe also does a nice job on the outside. You've got Emery Kubler, who is really doing a good job of running her offense. She's fiery, she's a leader. I love this Clarkston team, and I think once they get healthy, those top teams in front of them better watch out.
Yeah, they'll be a threat, as you said, as they get healthier, with the sisters leading the way and setter doing well. So that leads us right into our rankings. We had some big changes this week, Vince. I mean, finally, the season's heating up. We're seeing some movement here. So,
as it should be.
As it should be, exactly. So here are the top 10. I'm going to read them off, and then we're going to touch on a couple here. Staying at number 1, Marion. Then number 2, we've got Skyline. They moved from number 4 to number 2. Then moving from number 5 to number 3, North Branch. Clarkston moved up from number 6 to number 4. Then Hudsonville making a big jump from number 8 to number 5. Coming in at number 6 is Mercy, who also made a big jump from 9 to 6. And then Northville moved from 2 to 7, so they actually moved down in this week's rankings. And then at number 8, Forest Hills Northern also moved down from number 3 to number 8. And then Novi sneaks right in here to our top 10 for the first time this season, coming in at number 9. And then to round us off at number 10, Dakota. They also fell from 7 to 10. So Vince, like we said, a lot of movement here. We'll start off with talking about Skyline, who moved up to number 2.
Yeah, Skyline, they just keep winning. Again, Harper is carrying them, and they're going to be right in the top 3, I think, all season long. You've got North Branch, who's the Division II number 1. I've seen a lot of Division II teams play this year, including them, and I'm just not seeing it being close, at least this time of the year. I think Jim's loaded with his team. I think they're playing well. There's not a hole in their lineup, really. I think a lot of the movement that took place with all the teams are because some of these teams at 7, 8, 9 beat some teams that were in front of them. So, I mean, you gotta kind of flip-flop them a little bit. Northville lost to Mercy, and I'm sure they'll see each other again. So that's why Northville moved down. You've got Novi, who just continues to win. They won in 5 last night against Brighton.
Yeah.
Sarah Vellucci's playing really well for them. Caitlin Hoffman, Coach Casey's got a great team that could make some noise and continue to move up.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of movement. And I want to point out, I remember in our first episode, I believe you said North Branch was a sleeper team heading into this season. And look at that, they're already up to number 3.
Yep, and they could keep climbing.
And they could keep climbing, like you said. So awesome stuff there. And I'm excited to see how next week shakes up after a full slate of games this week.
Hi, I'm Laura Remus with DMC Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. And today on Game Changers, we're going to talk about athlete readiness testing. One of the hottest topics in sports performance is load monitoring. Load monitored training is being utilized for athletes on a day-to-day basis to determine how hard they should train or practice to help optimize their performance and prevent injury. So how can I, as a high school athlete, do load monitoring? Well, here are 3 simple tests. Hi, I'm here with Robbie from Notre Dame Prep High School, who plays basketball and soccer. He's here to demonstrate the first load monitoring test, grip strength. Take a grip master, put it in your hand. Squeeze it all the way until both ends touch. Then open it back up and repeat it. See how many times you can do that, and then record what that strength is. Each day, come back and retest yourself. If you drop by 10% your performance, can't squeeze it as many times by 10%, then you need to decrease your load, decrease the amount of training you're doing that day or the intensity of your practice. I'm here with Robbie again to demonstrate the second load monitoring test, the vertical jump. Start by standing and performing a maximum vertical jump. Repeat it. One more jump for the third. Record the best vertical jump. Do this on a daily basis. If you notice a 10% or more drop in performance, you know the load is too excessive and either practice and/or your training needs to be adjusted. I'm here with Owen from Notre Dame Prep High School, who plays soccer. Owen's going to demonstrate the third load monitoring test, the 10-yard sprint. Set up so you're ready to time a 10-yard sprint. Go. Repeat this 10-yard sprint test 3 times. If your performance decreases by 5% from day to day from your best results, then you need to adjust your training and/or your practices to help prevent injury and optimize your performance. For more sports performance tips or to make an appointment with a DMC physical therapist or sports medicine physician, visit dmc.org/gamechangers.
Do you have a sports injury, or are you just looking to take your game to the next level? Then go where the pros go. DMC Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. For immediate care, call 313-910-9328 or visit dmc.org/gamechangers.
Well, now it's time for our favorite part of the show, our update on Volleyball Player of the Year, presented by Michigan Elite Volleyball Academy. And Vince, we have a ton of talented players on this list. You guys are seeing the list right now. There are 10 names, and they're all in alphabetical order. So there's no ranking on the list, just in alphabetical order here. And don't forget, you can vote for the player who you think deserves this award on statechampsw.com. But Vince, this is an impressive list.
Great players. There are several other players who aren't on this list who are great players who could make this list in the future.
As always, we're going to spotlight one player, and this week we are going to spotlight Lake Orion's Nina Horning. Vince, she's a player. She stands out the second she steps on the court.
She is. She's going to Cincinnati. They're getting a 6'2" outside hitter who, first and foremost, is terminal, can score from all over the court. She's really carried Lake Orion's offense since she stepped foot in their gym over the last 4 years. As a coach, we played against her many times. One thing that I really like about her is how smooth she is in the back row. She's got a nice touch on the ball, and she's also got a killer serve. She's probably leading the team in aces, and when she's not acing them, she's getting teams out of system, and it's a really tough serve with her 6'2" frame, and that ball just sails. So she's very impressive, and she's really gotten better over the last 4 years, and Coach Tony does a really nice job with her.
Yeah, I would not want to be on the back end of her kills, that's for sure.
No.
But she's going to have some tough, her and the Lake Orion team are going to have some tough opponents coming up here with the Motor City Power Series.
Yeah, this weekend, that's probably a highlighted, it's not a tournament, it's more so of a power league, so you win, you move up from the previous week. And there were some upsets early in that. I think the first weekend was late August. Pool 1 has Clarkston, Novi, Country Day, Saline, and Lake Orion. So that's a tough pool. I think the brutal pool is Pool 2 though. North Branch, Northville, Skyline, Mercy, and Brighton. There could be teams that have 1 or 2 losses. There might not be anybody who goes through the day without a loss in those 2 pools. So that's, if you want to go watch some good volleyball, kids, head on over to the Motor City Power Series. You'll see a lot of great players.
Yeah, and if you guys notice the teams that Vince had mentioned, all teams in our top 10. So we are probably going to see some more shakeup next week in our rankings. Absolutely. And possibly with our Volleyball Player of the Year race. So we will see how that all unfolds this week, and then we'll be back next week for another fun episode of Above the Net, sponsored by Raymond James. So Vince, thanks so much for joining me, and I'm excited for next week.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
State Champs Above the Net is presented by Raymond James, tailored financial advice that helps you live your life. State Champs Above the Net is also powered by Lawrence Technological University. Visit ltuathletics.com and recruit yourself. Michigan Elite Volleyball, work hard, play hard. Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. The Michigan Army National Guard, a proud sponsor of the MHSAA. And the Detroit Medical Center Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine Pros. Visit dmc.org/gamechangers.